Welcome everyone to this explainer. We spend almost our entire lives surrounded by concrete, steel, and glass, right? But we rarely stop to think about the sheer, massive force these structures exert on our world. Today, we're going on an urgent, macro to micro journey. We're unpacking the blueprint for Philippine sustainable urbanization, diving into the raw data from our sources to truly grasp the massive, undeniable impact of the spaces we build. Get ready, because the way you look at a city skyline is literally about to change forever.
Okay, let's dive into this. Look, if you're an architect, a developer, an engineer, or a project manager working in the Philippines right now, listen closely. This is exactly for you. We're looking at the actual raw data driving your industry. You are the decision makers. You're the ones drawing up the plans and breaking ground, right? And the information we're about to cover gets right to the core of what you do every single day. We're talking about the realities your industries are actively creating and, frankly, the immense responsibility that comes with all of that power.
Section 1. The built environment's impact. So before we look ahead, we've got to define exactly what we're dealing with here. Our sources focus heavily on what we call the built environment. That is literally the physical framework of human society. It's the buildings we live in, the roads we drive on, the bridges, and the vast infrastructure networks. And this brilliantly illustrates the shocking scale of the problem. The built environment alone accounts for 40% of all global energy consumption. Just think about that for a second. 40%. That means our buildings and infrastructure consume more energy than the entire global transportation sector combined. Like, of all the energy swallowed up by every single plane, train, and factory out there, almost half is used just to create and run our physical structures. It's a colossal reality, and it completely reframes how we have to think about construction. It's really about managing one of the largest drains on global energy resources that currently exists. Moving on to Section 2, Accelerating Philippine Urbanization. We know the massive global energy demand of the built environment. Let's move to and see how this builds when we bring that lens directly to the hyper-fast geographic reality happening right now in the Philippines. The country isn't just growing. Urbanization is accelerating like a pressure cooker. First off, we see the baseline reality. Overall urbanization is speeding up as millions move into urban centers. Then, look at CALABARZON, expanding at an absolutely extraordinary speed. It's driven by this massive influx of millions of new residents all looking for space and opportunity. And why is this happening? Because Metro Manila, the incredibly dense core of the country, is aggressively pushing development further and further out into the surrounding provinces. It's like this daily, relentless wave of concrete and steel eating into open land, laying down that incredibly energy-hungry built environment we literally just talked about. The momentum is just unstoppable.
Section 3. The 50-year footprint. We've zoomed out to the global scale. We've seen the national acceleration. And now we really need to focus down on the micro level. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the direct, undeniable line it draws between the air-conditioned boardrooms, where the financial projections are drafted, and the dusty, sweaty, noisy construction sites where the concrete is actually poured. You see, the decisions being made in those crisp, sterile planning rooms are completely intertwined with the chaotic physical reality being built on the ground today. Both locations, even though they feel worlds apart, especially when you factor in the air conditioning, are equally responsible for locking in the exact shape of our future. The plans drawn up today become permanent physical realities tomorrow.
So the crucial point is understanding exactly what's at stake when those boardroom plans turn into construction site realities. These decisions lock in a massive triad of stakes for our urban centers. First up, they determine the energy footprint. Will these new expansions require massive, totally inefficient power grids just to stay cool? Second, the water footprint. How in the world will these expanding cities manage and recycle water in an environment that's already getting incredibly strained? And third, the climate resilience of Philippine cities. When development pushes out into the surrounding provinces, are we just paving over natural drainage? Are we amplifying the devastating flooding issues that Metro Manila already faces? These three pillars, energy, water, and climate resilience, are the direct, inescapable results of the choices the real estate and construction sectors are making right this very minute.
The ultimate time frame we're seeing in our source material is honestly staggering. The decisions being made today about our energy footprint, our water usage, and our climate resilience, they don't just matter for the next few years. They lock in the physical reality of Philippine cities for the next 50 years, half a century. So whether you're sitting in a boardroom or standing on a construction site, you have to ask yourself a very provocative question. Will today's decisions survive the next 50? Will the built environment we're so aggressively expanding today become a sustainable haven or a massive liability? The blueprint is being drawn right now, and the clock on the next 50 years has already started ticking. Thank you so much for joining me for this explanator, and I really hope this sparks some deep reflection on the exact kind of world we are building.